Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about the basics of how sleep works and some tips that could help with your sleep. And look, I am no sciencey type of person, and I'm no person who enjoys learning about sciencey things, but I went down a rabbit hole researching about sleep on a day where I couldn't sleep. So yeah, I struggle with sleep myself, and I have always looked for tips in the past, but I've always found dead ends. But I have been improving ever since this research. So I will discuss various tips that could help you and what had worked for me. Also, just because some of the tips mentioned worked for me may not work for you and vice versa. In order to achieve better sleep, it is important to understand what the sleep cycles are like. The average sleep cycle is in 5 stages, with 1 to 2 stages of light sleep, 3 to 4 stages of deep sleep, and the 5th stage is the REM stage. It stands for rapid eye movement. Now you may wonder why it's called that. Well, when you're in REM sleep, the brain activity goes insane and your eyes move around a lot, hence the name. For the first stage, you will drift in and out of sleep, which is light sleep. Your eyes move slowly, your brain and muscle activity is slowing down, and you could be easily awakened. During my research, it says the stage lasts for 1 to 5 minutes. Okay, so sidetracked. At first, I thought it was like 1 to 5 minutes, like successfully sleeping, like you hit the pillow and then you just sleep, and I thought that was inaccurate since it takes me on average 30 minutes to an hour to finally sleep. And although I know people who can sleep in like 5 minutes, I know far more people who takes longer to sleep. But you see, I am a certified dumbass. So it's when you finally sleep where the first stage only lasts 5 minutes or less. So you need to sleep and then the first stage happens. You might have gotten that at first, but it's because I'm dumb. Okay, I'm sorry. For the second stage, your body is now starting to prepare for deep sleep. The body temperature and heart rate both drop during this stage. This stage usually lasts around 10 to 25 minutes. For the third stage, you are now in deep sleep. Now, there are these waves called delta waves that are active, which I won't go into detail because boring, but these delta waves are associated with relaxation and restoration. Speaking of restoration, this stage is so important because it's known for bodily recovery, growth, and healing sleep. This stage lasts around 20 to 40 minutes. For the fourth stage, you are still in deep sleep, and this stage exclusively produces those slow delta waves, which guide you to the fifth stage. Now, for the fifth stage, you are now in REM sleep, where your eyes move rapidly from side to side when closed. Since there is intense brain activity, it will showcase vivid dreams. Now, the other stages could have dreams, they could have dreams, but they're not as intense or common as in the REM stage. Also, it's important to note that you do not enter the REM stage until you have been asleep for about 90 minutes or so, and this stage could last up to an hour, especially later in the night, which is much more than its other sleep stage counterparts. I will show a chart that will simplify my explanation because I know I said a bunch of words, sentences, a bunch of crap, might have went over your head. So here's like a chart that simplifies everything that I said. So if you can grasp something visually, this is for you. Now there are 5 stages that's just only one cycle. Just keep that in mind. So in a typical night, 4 to 6 sleep stages is normal for people, and it's important to note that not all sleep cycles are the same length, but they do last about 90 minutes each. That's the second time the number 90 has come up. Just keep that number in mind because that number may be groundbreaking for you. Or maybe not. Maybe your sleep will forever suck, and I apologize for that. Sleep cycles vary from person to person and from night to night based on factors such as age, alcohol consumption, and sleep disorders. Of course, there are many other factors, but these are the most common factors that I will discuss. Firstly, age is a huge component on affecting your sleep cycles. The transition of life stages dramatically changes the sleep cycles in a person's life. Newborns spend more time in REM sleep and may even enter REM sleep as soon as they fall asleep, which accounts for 50% of the time. As they get older, sleep becomes more similar to adults at the age of 5, that's a rough estimate. But on the other hand, elderly people spend less time in REM sleep. Secondly, alcohol or drugs can alter sleep cycles, and this component is something you could control. So please do not suffer from alcoholism. There's AA down your street somewhere. Alcohol decreases REM sleep early in the night, but as alcohol wears off, there's a REM sleep rebound with prolonged REM stages. Now, what does this mean? I don't know. But using my thinking cap, alcohol is more like a sedative, so you would be easily put to sleep. However, there will be disruptions in the sleep cycle, which causes restlessness in the later stages of sleep. And I mentioned a REM sleep rebound, which just means what I previously said. You could sleep faster and deeper initially. But once the alcohol is out of your system, the body rebounds in the opposite direction. For example, if you consume alcohol before bed, you might find yourself being wide awake at 2 or 3 a.m. and might have trouble sleeping again. Lastly, the most obvious factor of affecting sleep cycles are sleep disorders such as sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, and other conditions causing multiple awakening that may interrupt a healthy sleep cycle. Important to note that the combination of sleeping disorder and alcohol is double bad, so do not do that. Now, I could put up some more information regarding why it's bad and some studies, but I'm pretty sure it's that's pretty self-explanatory, so yeah, just take my word for it. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but I am no medical professional or sleep doctor with amazing knowledge on the mysterious sleep knowledge. Please take my information with a grain of salt and consult your doctor if you believe you may have a sleep condition that affects your everyday function as a person. Also, consult a professional if you are looking for advice and want to fact check any information given in this video. Now, since that is out of the way, sleep stages are important because it allows the body to recuperate and develop. Failure to obtain deep sleep and REM stages may explain the consequences of insufficient sleep on thinking, emotions, and even physical health. And speaking of physical health, I have an anecdote. I consider myself a healthy person, and I only get sick, like as in the flu or the fever, once a year or every 2 years. But there was a time I haven't been I've been sleeping in at 3 a.m. and even as bad as 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Yeah, it was like super bad. Another time I was still exercising regularly and not eating trash. However, I got the worst flu or like fever or whatever it was than ever before. And it was because of my lack of sleep. I had this pain in my abdominal that would hurt every time I lay down, which sucks because you need to lay down and rest in order to get better. I also vomited continuously because that was abnormal for me because I never vomited that much. Like I would vomit maximum twice, but like at the time it was like I guess 8 to 10 times. It was brutal. I've never felt like shit like that before. Honestly, sleep is the best medicine. People do not understand how important sleep is, but the lack of it could be detrimental to your health, and it could rise up physical or mental conditions because of it. Sleepers who are frequently awoken during early stages of the sleep cycle, such as people with sleep apnea, may struggle to transition into deeper sleep cycles. People with insomnia may not get enough total sleep overall to accumulate the needed time in each stage. So again, if you believe you have these conditions, consult a doctor. So now I will discuss some tips on how to sleep better. I will lay out all the tips that may work for you that have been recommended by medical professionals, and then I will discuss the tips that have worked for me. Sleep hygiene refers to your sleep environment, such as your mattress, pillows, sheets, etc. This is important to improve this aspect because a shitty mattress could mess up your back, or a dollar store pillow could jack up your neck, which could affect your sleeping. Now, I will acknowledge that many people do not have the luxury to buy an ultra comfy mattress with a premium pillow, so you have to work with what you got or save enough money for an affordable mattress that will help support your back. Eliminating noise and light disruptions may help you sleep depending on the person. But on the other hand, many other people need the TV, music, or the sounds of waves or rain to help them doze off. So it's really like a case-by-case decision for you as an individual. Now, I know you do not want to hear this one, but exercising regularly does help you sleep. There are many studies and research to support this fact, one being the 2013 Sleep in America poll. Physical activity during the day will help expend energy, in which you will feel tired at night since you use up most of your energy in the day. Now, there are studies and research on why you should avoid exercise during late afternoon and evening hours because it could affect your dopamine levels, which makes you unable to sleep. However, there are also many studies and research on exercising at later times that may help you fall asleep. So basically, what you should take away from this is you need to find what works for you. There is no one-size-fits-all method, so you need to try various methods to find what works for you because people's bodies, people's brain chemistry, their wiring, they're different. So not everyone's gonna have the same effect with the same method. Some professionals say to avoid naps after mid-afternoon. Napping can provide short-term restoration that could affect how sleepy you feel in the evening. Now, there is some research, such as the study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, on why power naps or naps in general are great for you. However, naps need to be based on how an individual's sleep cycles are like. Power naps for 20 to 30 minutes may feel refreshing for someone, or maybe even a 90-minute nap, because 90 minutes is a sleep cycle, remember. But the nap should not be longer than that because you would wake up groggy. But if you are having terrible sleep cycles, it is recommended to not take naps. But just consult a doctor, because I'm just a nobody who went down a rabbit hole for fun. Anyway, if you want me to make a video that goes more in depth with naps, just let me know. Okay, so this one is a weird one, but you should spend some time in the sunlight, because not getting enough of that vitamin D or sunlight can affect your circadian rhythm and make it harder for you to regulate its sleep-wake cycle. Just get some sunlight in general, not just for the sole purpose of sleeping, but because it's healthy. Unless your mom, who is a vampire and is allergic to the sun. Now, this might sound very specific, but that's because it's a fact for my mom, because she gets hives on her skin whenever she's exposed to the sun. It's crazy. I'm gonna butcher the name for what she has, but it's called solar urticaria. It's a thing. Just know that it's a thing. The most obvious tip is to avoid stimulants like caffeine and nicotine late in the day, because they can interrupt the melatonin that is supposed to make you feel tired. My mom struggles with sleep, but she also smokes, so that's, another factor that affects her sleep. So if you smoke, either quit or smoke earlier in the day to improve your sleep. But that's like mission impossible, since people who smoke are most likely addicted to the nicotine inside it. So I'm sorry if you are struggling with that. Avoid heavy or trashy nighttime meals. Foods heavy in fat or sugar can affect the quality of your sleep. However, light snacks containing melatonin or other sleep-inducing components such as whole grains, walnuts, cherries, and milk are recommended to eat before bedtime. Another tip you will hate is to not use your electronics before bedtime. Electronic devices emitting artificial blue light can trick your brain into thinking it's daytime, and it could affect your circadian rhythm. The brain is a crazy thing, but it's okay to play music on those devices as long as your eyes are not glued to them. Now, you could take melatonin supplements. I use them as well, but it's important to note that your body already produces melatonin. So if you are having healthy sleeping cycles, you do not need this supplement. However, if you are not having healthy sleeping cycles, then your body producing melatonin may be irregular, and your circadian rhythm, or in simpler terms, your body clock. The melatonin supplement may help you fall asleep faster, but its true purpose is to reset your circadian rhythm, which is perfect if you're suffering from jet lag. Okay, so this tip is very important. Have a consistent wake-up time. I bet you were expecting better, but this is it. You can't have a healthy sleep routine if you are constantly waking up at different times in the day or afternoon. Pick a wake-up time and stick with it. Okay, now here is the groundbreaking part, which could probably be life-changing. If you have a short attention span and skipped all the way here, I completely understand. But my main takeaway from this video is to follow the 90-minute sleep cycle. Remember, one sleep cycle is 90 minutes. 90 minutes is important because that is the key to waking up refreshed. For example, I like to wake up at 9 a.m. when my classes start. So I will count down 90 minutes backward. So if you hate math, just start at the 9 p.m. point and count 90 minutes forward. Because, if that's 12 hours and 12 hours is 90 minutes. Okay, regardless, counting backward could be confusing, so counting forward could be easier. So if I want to wake up at 9 a.m., the recommendations I have is 9 p.m., 10:30 p.m., and 12 a.m. the latest. The most ideal would be 9 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. I hope I didn't make it too confusing, but once I learned this fact, it just made sense, one sleeping cycle, that makes sense. Now, many professionals say to have at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but I still feel like that is not enough sleep. For example, I feel refreshed when I sleep at 9 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. when I wake up at 9 a.m., which is 12 hours or 10 hours and 30 minutes. However, if I sleep for 7 hours, the time will be 2 a.m. when I sleep, which I feel like I don't get enough sleep. But maybe that is just me and may not be the case for you. but I don't know. Despite my case, I will include a chart of ages with recommended sleep hours that medical professionals approve of. Now, this just came to me, so I feel like the 7 to 8 hour thing came from is probably for people who wake up at like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. So, yeah. But I'm not going to wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., so that doesn't apply to me. Okay, on the methods that do help me sleep, I'm just going to kind of list them. So early in the day, I exercise doing either HIIT or strength training workouts. I usually take melatonin at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., but sometimes I do forget to take it. But I mean, it doesn't matter as long as I'm going to bed at a good time. I have a fan in my room which I'm unable to sleep without, not because of the noise, but since my room is hot and I don't want to sweat in bed. Before, I experimented with ASMR, which was actually very soothing and relaxing, but now I listen to this channel called Nemo's Dreamscape, who uploads oldies music playing in the background of like soothing fire and light thunder noises. Some people cannot sleep with noise, so I suggest wax earplugs. Also, I have to sleep on my back, and sometimes I feel more comfortable sleeping on my side, but every time I sleep on my side, I wake up with my back jacked up, so you should experiment with different sleeping positions to see which one works for your back and neck. Alright, that's a wrap on my sleep cycle video. If you found information that is helpful, that's great. If this video has made you sleep because of how boring it is, I will be a little sad, but I was able to make you sleep, so I'm happy for you. Have a good day, make good choices, and ciao!